Welcome to Crafting Confidence, the audio companion to Kristy Coromandel's paper crafting tutorials, helping you create with confidence, one project at a time.
Okay, the holiday season, it always brings that big ambition, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You picture yourself, sitting down, making dozens of gorgeous personalized cards for everyone. Such a lovely idea.
It really is.
But then, reality hits. You walk into your craft space and bam, stacks of paper, tubs of buttons and bows, all those ink pads, maybe 17 different stamp sets staring back at you.
Yep, I know that feeling.
And that lovely ambition just kind of melts into overwhelm. Decision paralysis sets in. We've all been there, right?
Absolutely. That feeling of being totally paralyzed by too many choices, it's honestly the biggest roadblock for anyone starting out, especially when you feel that holiday deadline creeping up.
So today, we're going to dive deep into the perfect solution for that overwhelm. It's a concept we call festive foundations, and it comes straight from the expertise of paper crafting expert, founder of Paper Crafters Academy, and creative confidence coach, Kristy Coromandel.
Okay, festive foundations. I like that.
Our mission today is pretty simple, really. We want to show you the incredible power of using just one single, simple card layout.
One layout.
Yeah, think of it like a blueprint you can use over and over.
Yeah.
Once you get this blueprint down, you can make a whole stack of beautiful, coordinated holiday cards. It cuts out the stress, takes away the guesswork of design, and, actually lets you enjoy the making part, the stamping, the cutting.
Right, the fun stuff. So what we're really digging into here is this idea that one layout, many cards, isn't just some nifty time saver for pros. It's like the absolute key for beginners.
Exactly. It's your creative anchor. It turns that potential chaos into, immediate success.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit more. If you're new to making cards, you might think the hard part is, cutting a straight line or lining up a tiny stamped greeting.
Sure, the physical skills.
Yeah, but what Kristy Coromandel's method really solves, based on what we're seeing, is the designing part. That's the real hurdle, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Staring at that blank card and thinking, okay, where does this go? And then this, how do I make it look good? That whole cognitive load.
That cognitive load is huge. And it's why so many amazing craft projects just never get started. Designing well means thinking about visual weight, balance, color theory, stuff that takes time to learn.
Right.
But the second you use a single layout, or a sketch, they're often called, all that heavy lifting, it's done for you.
Like a map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Creative map. It tells you, put your background here, your main picture about here, greeting in this spot. You're not reinventing the wheel every single time. You just change the materials you use with the map.
And since we're focusing on saving time during the holidays, which is, let's face it, always frantic.
Always.
Can we get really practical? What does this simple layout actually look like? What size card are we even starting with?
Good question. Keep it standard. So in the U.S., that's usually the A2 size card.
Right.
That's about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches.
Okay, A2. Got it.
And the layout itself, super simple. Imagine a large background layer, maybe 4 by 5 1/4 inches, covering most of that card front.
Right.
Then, layered on top, maybe slightly offset, a smaller panel, let's say 3 by 4 inches. That's where your main stamped image or your die-cut shape goes.
So a main panel.
And then your little sentiment, your greeting, tucks neatly into a corner of that main panel, nice and contained.
That makes total sense. It gives your eye a place to land right away. So the design's basically set. Why is relying on this map, this sketch, such a big deal psychologically for someone learning?
Well, the benefits are massive.
Yeah.
And it's not just about saving time, though that's huge. First, it just demolishes that decision fatigue we talked about.
Right. No more, should it go here or maybe here?
Exactly. The basic structure is locked in. You're not agonizing over placement. You just swap things out. Try this patterned paper, or maybe that color cardstock. The structure underneath guarantees it works.
Okay. Less mental energy wasted.
Totally. Second, and this is key for the holidays, it makes you super efficient. When every card uses the same measurements and layout, you can shift straight into, assembly line mode.
Batching.
Yes. You cut everything at once, stamp everything at once, glue everything together in batches.
That sounds absolutely vital if you're looking at a list of, say, 30, 40, maybe even 50 cards to send out. But here's the question that always comes up with batching. If I make 50 cards using the exact same layout, aren't they all going to look, identical? Boring even. Doesn't that lose the unique handmade feel?
That's a really smart question and totally valid.
Yeah.
But the answer is actually no if you use the variation points we're about to talk about.
Okay.
Think of the layout as the sturdy frame of a house. It's the same reliable structure for all 50 houses, but the variation, that comes from the outside finish.
Ah, like paint color or siding.
Exactly. One house gets stucco, the next gets wood siding, another gets brick. Your papers, your colors, your textures, those are your exterior finishes.
Yeah.
The frame gives you consistency, but the finishes give you individuality.
Okay, I get it. Structure plus variation.
That's how you get both consistency and uniqueness.
Yeah.
Honestly, it builds your creative confidence incredibly fast because you master one tool, one layout, and then you see how much you can actually do with it.
That house analogy really helps solidify it. The framework is set, but the creative fun is in the decorating, the papers, and colors. All right, let's get practical. We're going to walk through the 7-step process based on Kristy Coromandel's guidance for taking that one simple idea and turning it into a whole stack of gorgeous cards.
Let's do it. Step 1, pick your base design. We already decided on the A2 size. So first things first, cut and score all your card bases. Use a paper trimmer for clean cuts, and definitely use a bone folder.
Oh yeah, the bone folder. That makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It really does. That crisp professional fold just elevates the whole card. Makes it look less, floppy or rushed.
Okay, base is done, then the layers.
Then cut all the layers your blueprint needs, that bigger background mat, the smaller focal panel. Cut them all at the same time. Batching starts right here.
Got it. And this is probably where people can get tripped up colors. Step 2 is choose a color palette. How do we keep it manageable but still interesting?
Keep it simple, like really simple. Stick to just 2 or maybe 3 coordinating colors. Next.
3, okay.
You could go traditional reds, greens, maybe some cream, or try something fresher, soft pastels, wintry neutrals, or even something elegant like navy and gold.
Navy gold is nice.
Yeah, but the absolute easiest shortcut for a beginner, look at a piece of pattern paper you love.
Use the paper as your guide.
Exactly. If that paper has 5 colors in it, just pick the main 2 or 3 for your cardstock and your inks. Boom. Instant coordination guaranteed. No guesswork.
That's a brilliant time saver. Okay, step 3 is where the personality really starts showing up. Add patterned paper or texture. This is the main spot for making cards look different, even with the same layout, right?
Precisely. This is where you swap out the siding on your house frame, that main background mat. Card 1 might use a subtle stripe paper. Card 2 could have a nice wood grain pattern. Card 3 might just be solid cardstock that you've run through an embossing folder to give it texture.
Okay, so changing the background paper or adding texture.
And here's a pro hack for texture. Use the same embossing folder, the plastic thing that presses a pattern into paper.
Yeah.
Use the same folder, but maybe rotate the paper direction on the next card, or emboss the same pattern onto 3 different colors of cardstock. Consistent texture, but a totally fresh look each time.
Clever. Okay, moving to the main event. Step 4, create a focal point. We need consistency here too, but maybe not total uniformity.
Right. Focus on something repeatable. Yeah. Choose one stamp set or maybe one die-cut shape that feels seasonal. Think simple, clear images like little Christmas trees, maybe a big snowflake, or some ornaments.
Easy to reproduce.
Exactly. And to keep it interesting across the whole batch without overcomplicating, maybe alternate between 2 similar images from the same set. Like use a small tree on card 1 and maybe a slightly larger star from the same set on card 2. But put them in the exact same spot the layout tells you to.
Okay, slight variation within the same theme and placement. Makes sense. Step 5, the sentiment. Greeting placement is pretty important for keeping that balanced look, I imagine.
Crucial. Since your focal point is in a set spot, the sentiment needs to be consistent too. It creates that rhythm, that balance across all the cards.
Yeah.
Like a repeating beat in music,
Yeah.
You've got a few main options. You can stamp it directly onto that focal panel. Or for a bit more pop, you could heat emboss it. That gives it that shiny, raised look.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, it looks really upscale. Or you could stamp it on a little banner or label shape and layer that on top. Again, if you use banners, cut all the banners at once.
Batching again. Okay, step 6. This feels like the fun part, but maybe also where efficiency goes out the window. Embellish, but keep it simple. What's the guideline here for batching?
Restraint. Restraint is your best friend here. Because you're doing this potentially dozens of times, anything too fiddly or time-consuming is out.
Right. No intricate, multi-layered bows for 50 cards.
Probably not. Stick to simple things. A few sequins, maybe in little clusters of 3 or 5. Odd numbers always look better. A tiny pre-tied bow if you must. Or just a quick wash of something shimmery like Wink of Stella.
Ah, yes, Wink of Stella. For anyone who hasn't used it, it's like a glitter brush pen, right? Super easy shimmer.
Exactly. All the sparkle, none of the mess or time of loose glitter. Quick and effective. And that brings us to the final step, step 7, repeat and vary. This is really the bridge to efficient batch making.
So once card number 1 is perfect,
You repeat the whole process, but, and this is key, you intentionally change just one thing for card number 2.
okay, so same layout, same stamp, same everything, but maybe swap the red background paper for a blue one.
Exactly. Or use the same red paper, but emboss it this time instead of leaving it flat. You limit the variable on purpose. It keeps it manageable and lets you see the impact of small changes.
Got it. Control the complexity.
That's it. And once you've got that base design solid, and you understand how changing just one element works, then you're ready for the real efficiency boost for making tons of cards, which means changing how you work. And that's all about batch making.
Right. So we've hinted at it, but let's really focus on batching now.
Yes. Connecting this all together, once you've mastered that one layout, the secret weapon for making 10, 20, even 50 cards without losing your mind is batch making.
So instead of finishing card 1 completely cutting, stamping, gluing, embellishing, then putting everything away and starting fresh on card 2.
Which is so inefficient.
Yeah, instead you do one task across all the cards before moving to the next task, maximizing tool use, right?
Absolutely. Think about the setup and cleanup time for each tool.
Yeah.
Pulling out the trimmer, setting the measurements, putting it away, then getting out the stamp platform. It adds up. Batching uses muscle memory and keeps each tool out until you're done with that step for all the cards.
Makes sense. So what's the recommended order for batching?
It generally goes like this. First, cut and score. Cut all 50 card bases. Cut all 50 background mats. Cut all 50 focal panels. Everything that needs trimming.
Step 1, all the paper cutting.
Step 2, stamp and die cut. Stamp all your images, all your sentiments, or run all the pieces through your die cutting machine if you're using dies.
Okay, all the stamping and shaping.
Third, assemble. Now you add adhesive and stick all those main paper layers together for every card. Get the basic structure built.
Right, the gluing stage.
And fourth, finally, embellish. Add all the sequins, the wink of Stella, the little bows, the finishing touches go on last, across the board.
That segmented approach is genius, really. It means you can fit crafting into smaller chunks of time, like do all the cutting during a lunch break.
Exactly, or the stamping while you're watching TV.
And maybe the assembly over a weekend afternoon. It makes that big, daunting list feel so much more doable, especially during the busy holidays.
It really does. And the beauty is, once you've got this system down, the single layout plus batching, you can start to play a little. You can experiment with easy variations to stretch that one layout even further. The source material from Kristy Coromandel has some great ideas.
Like what kind of variations?
Well, the easiest is just a pattern swap. Keep the layout, keep the colors, but just use a different patterned paper for the background. Dots instead of stripes, plaid instead of floral. Instant new look.
Simple but effective.
Or try an orientation change. Just flip the whole layout. If you started vertical, portrait style, turn it horizontal, landscape. The elements are the same size relative to the card, so the balance usually still works beautifully.
Oh, interesting. Just turn it sideways.
Yep. You can also go for a big mood change with a color shift. Ditch the traditional red and green. Maybe try a completely monochromatic look, like all shades of icy blue with silver accents.
Oh, elegant.
Or do a focal update. Keep the size of that focal panel the same, but instead of a stamped image, maybe use a decorative tag you made, or a different die cut shape, or even just a block of text.
Lots of options just by changing one main element.
And don't forget, add texture. Even just running that background panel through an embossing folder like we mentioned, or maybe doing some simple ink blending around the edges adds so much depth. Makes the card look really polished and, frankly, more expensive.
You know, what's really fascinating here, and it ties back to that creative confidence idea, is that sometimes creativity sparks more when you have limits, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of being overwhelmed by infinite choices, this single layout kind of forces you to get creative with the supplies you do choose. You're not trying to use every single thing you own on one card.
Exactly. It channels your focus. And this single layout concept, it's incredibly versatile. Once you get the hang of the structure, you can adapt it for anything. Christmas, birthdays, thank you notes, get well cards. Just change the colors, papers, and images. The foundation stays the same.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway? It sounds like making meaningful handmade cards doesn't have to be super complicated or stressful.
Not at all.
Giving yourself this gift of a simple, repeatable layout is really about simplifying the process, cutting down that mental overwhelm, especially during busy times. It lets you actually enjoy making things from the heart and lets your confidence grow along the way.
Beautifully put. So we definitely encourage you to try the weekly challenge. Give this batch-making method a go. Use one layout, just one, and aim to make at least 3 cards this week.
Okay, 3 cards, 1 layout.
Yeah, and just notice how different they can look, how much your style comes through, just by changing the papers or adding some texture, not by reinventing the whole design each time. Remember, every creative journey really does start with just one confident step.
I love that.
And maybe a little provocative thought to leave you with. As you look at your craft supplies right now, maybe on your table or in a nearby box, which 2 pattern papers could you grab right now and try this 1 layout 2 cards idea with?
Just pick 2 and start.
That's all it takes to begin.
Thanks for listening to Crafting Confidence. Visit KristyCoromandel.com for project photos, downloads, and more beginner resources.